Hey guys, it's Dr. Justin Marcagiani here. Today's video is going to be on the top three reasons why you may have heart palpitations or heart fluttering issues. We are going to dive in and we'll go into the nervous system and what's happening and simple strategies that you can utilize to help get you back on track. And before we dive in, make sure you smash that like button. Really helps the search algorithm. Also, put your comments down below. Let me know things that you have done to help with heart palpitations, tachycardia, just overall helping your heart beat better. All right, so let's dive in. So if we have tachycardia or heart palpitations, heart's beating harder, faster, maybe a little bit more regular, you feel it beating through your chest, things like that. Or maybe it's going overly slow, right? The bradycardia sign where it's just going too low and too slow. Maybe it gets below 40 or so. What is the cause? So one of the first things we have to look at when we have heart issues is we have to look at hydration. Hydration is number one. We want to make sure you're drinking good, clean water with minerals added. We want to make sure it's filtered, and we want to make sure you're drinking enough water. Inadequate hydration can definitely make it harder for the heart to work. Also, what's in that water? So ideally, important nutrients that help with the heart is we have our natural beta blocker. The big one's magnesium out of the gates. Magnesium really helps the heart relax. So when your heart's going faster, a lot of times getting that magnesium on board can really help. So can potassium. I've seen a lot of patients that have bradycardia going too slow. Potassium can also help. Also, sodium and chloride can make a big deal too. You need electrolytes, right? You heard of this condition called hyponatremia. That's come marathon time, or people just that hydrate too much, they develop cardiac arrest from hyponatremia. Too much water dilutes their electrolytes, primarily sodium and chloride, and their heart can't function because that electrical wiring that swims in our bloodstream, we need certain minerals. Sodium and chloride are very, very important. We also have this sodium-potassium pump thing that goes on all of our cells. It's how our cells communicate. Sodium goes in, potassium goes into the cell. I think 3 molecules of potassium in, 2 molecules of sodium out. We have this gradient, this communication loop that has to happen with sodium and potassium. And frankly, we need about 4,700 milligrams of potassium a day. Most people do not get enough potassium. So potassium deficiencies is a real concern. So having adequate levels of potassium, very important. Magnesium is a big concern. So one of the first things we look at when patients' heart is beating too hard, we want to get magnesium on board. We want to make sure we're not consuming too many inflammatory foods, or we're not creating a blood sugar roller coaster by too much refined carbohydrate or processed carbs and grains. So we cut out the processed carbs and grains. We make sure our blood sugar is not doing this by having healthy proteins and fats. We switch to being more of a fat burner so our blood sugar levels can snake along versus creating this blood sugar roller coaster ride that can create a lot of symptoms. So we got to make sure that is dialed in, is 100% okay. So we look at sodium, chloride, potassium, magnesium. We have that sodium-potassium pump communicating well. Potassium in, sodium out. We make sure blood sugar is good. High and low on the blood sugar side can create a lot of problems, right? That can create surges of adrenaline and surges of cortisol, which can be very stimulating and can create a lot of problems. Okay. The next component I would say after blood sugar and adrenaline and cortisol and hydration and minerals, I would say after that is just making sure your adrenals are supported. If you have HPA axis dysregulation, where your cortisol rhythm is reversed or dysregulated because the feedback loop from the brain to the adrenals is dysregulated, we may have to get that supported. We may use adaptogens or nutrients and B5 and vitamin C and various adaptogens and adrenal hormone support to help reestablish good HPA axis function. This is where doing a really good adrenal test to look at cortisol rhythm can be very helpful. This is where supporting the adrenal nutrients can be helpful. And then looking at all the lifestyle factors that can dysfunction the adrenals, right? Poor sleep, too much exercise, too little, crappy diet, a lot of unregulated or let's say unprocessed emotional stressors. All of those things can play a major role. So big things I tell patients out of the gate: sodium, potassium, magnesium, Very important. You can throw a little bit of calcium in there too. Good electrolyte, good hydration, good blood sugar support. Really working on being more keto and fat adapted, super huge. Not throwing blood sugar, not going on a blood sugar roller coaster, not throwing very processed carbohydrates on the fire. Fire goes up and out, right? We want to have that really good stable fire that burns long and burns strong. So hope that helps. Common heart issues, this tends to help a lot. Other heart things, we can also add in extra CoQ10, extra carnitine, things that help the heart generate ATP, pump better, function better. But the electrolyte and the hydration plays a massive role. So if you want to dive in deeper, any cardiovascular issues, click down below. You can reach out to myself and my staff. Heart issues are a common thing that we see connected with panic attacks, and panic attacks are intimately connected with adrenal and neurotransmitter issues. So we got to look at all those. Oh, and if you're a female too, progesterone is a very natural GABA chloride channel opener. So progesterone is very calming for women, guys too, but obviously more with women. And it can be very calming and very relaxing. So if you have a luteal phase issue, your last half of the cycle is very short, low progesterone, falls out early, these heart issues can also be very common with lower progesterone issues as well. Hope that helps, guys. If you want to reach out, links down below. Hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will grab a couple of questions for y'all too. Is filtered water for hydration? So yeah, I use really good high quality filtered water with minerals added back in. I also pinch a little bit of minerals back in as well. I'll put some links down below of water filtration units that I personally use. Yeah, so I got PVCs, that's the periventricular contractions in the heart. I notice most of the time that I get them is due to digestive issues, which is apparently the consensus from what I'm seeing. Yeah, so digestive issues, right? Why? It could be indigestion, right? It could be indigestion. It could be not breaking down the food well. It could be some kind of inflammation in the stomach, and that's on the same kind of neurological loop really close to the heart. So it could be easily from digestive issues, not breaking things down, food sitting in your stomach too long, maybe fermentation, maybe bacterial overgrowth. For sure, if you have bacterial imbalances, that can definitely disrupt some of that area because they're so close. They're on that same viscerosomatic reflux. The upper thoracic nerves, lower cervical nerves, that definitely can play a role. Added minerals into my water has been linked to neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and dementia. Well, I think maybe you're thinking of aluminum, but things like sodium and chloride and magnesium, these are nutrients, and they have actually a recommended daily level, meaning if you don't get it, you're going to have major health issues. Obviously, if you don't get enough magnesium, I don't think you can function. At some point, you're going to have a lot of issues because you need sodium, you need chloride, your cells need those things, you need magnesium, you need potassium, right? We have a 4,700 milligram recommended daily intake of potassium a day. Okay, very good. All right, I think we answered most of the questions. I only want to hit questions that are pertinent to today's topic, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Oh, Ashley wrote in, can you take Vitex while on progesterone? Yeah, so we talked about progesterone and helping with the heart. Vitex, yeah, that's chase tree or chaseberry. That does help the signaling of the brain and the pituitary to make LH, and LH helps the ovaries to produce progesterone. So yeah, you can do that, and I'll do that. I have a product called Female Tonic that I use with my patients, and a lot of times we'll give progesterone, maybe some maca, maybe some female tonic, or if patients are sensitive to progesterone, we'll definitely do some kind of chase tree or Vitex. Super helpful. Excellent. How do I improve digestive issues and water issues? Not sure what you mean by digestion and water issues. So regarding water, you want to do half your body weight in ounces is a pretty good one. You can make sure it's really good filtered. Reverse osmosis quality is ideal. Pinch some minerals, add some minerals back in there. That's super helpful. Okay, let me see here, guys. 73-year-old father was prescribed Proscar and Flomax. All I know is he was complaining about frequent urination and having to urinate. Well, yeah, you got to look at why that is. I mean, the easiest things to help with prostate inflammation is make sure, one, cut out refined sugar and grains, those kind of things. Make sure adequate zinc and selenium are consumed. You could also add in things like saw palmetto is very helpful. You can add things like pumpkin seed, lycopene. These are all very good nutrients to help as well. But start with the diet, then add some of the supplemental nutrients, and that makes a big difference. Oh, great to hear that the cycle balance progesterone helped you, Ashley. Good to hear. Hope you're doing well. Look forward to checking in with you soon. Okay, good. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed today's call.